You're listening to Podcast PXN,
a video game podcast
delivering player experience news.
Let's go!
Hello, it is Wednesday, December 21st, 2022. We welcome to Podcast PXN, episode 170. It is the first day of winter. Argentina has won the World Cup. Messi has won his first World Cup. And Podcast PXN is deciding their Game of the Year 2022. Arguably the biggest week in the world ever right now. I am one of your hosts, Christian Macias. And the perennial dating app swiper, I had the wrong intro up. The perennial dating app swiper from Portland, Oregon, Christian. And I'm joined over Discord today by Kentucky's #1 Spartan and PXN founder, Daniel Prindle, aka Dan is DTM.
Yeah, Messi.
Okay. And the president of the Tifa Lockhart fan club, please stand up. He is the Nintendo aficionado and artist extraordinaire at Roro.
Hello, The Rock did not change the DCEU forever.
Wait, what?
We'll talk about this. And one half of the Men in Gitch podcast, Battlefield's bad boy, the Tarkov Teletubby himself, the DMZ daddy.
Wow.
My boo, Gage Dempster.
Oh, I'm feeling good now.
Yeah.
Dan, Dan, before we continue on this rigmarole, I don't know if you listened to the Iron Giant episode of Large Popcorn, but we opened that show actually praising you.
Really? No, I didn't.
Yes. We talked about how you gave Gage a beautiful introduction on PXN. We couldn't remember what it was, and I think it was DMZ Daddy.
It was
Close enough, I guess.
What was it?
It was DMZ Dazzler.
No, I think it was DMZ Daddy.
Daddy's better.
DMZ
I mean,
Dazzler?
I'll let you think that. That's fine.
Okay, whatever it was good. Well,
If
this
you
is the
said
first and
Dazzler,
last time we
Daddy,
try to
yeah.
compliment Dan, so there's that out of the way.
Actually, guys, you got it wrong, so fuck
Yeah.
you.
It's in the doc. It's in the doc right here.
Folks,
Maybe it was
thank
DMZ
you.
Dazzler.
I like Daddy. I'm sticking with Daddy.
That's fine.
Thank you, folks, to everyone watching us live and participating in the chat. Just as a reminder, we are live each and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Just search Podcast PXN. You can also find us on twitch.tv/podcastpxn. Some housekeeping real quick that I forgot to include here. I have to apologize for last week. Gage pointed this out. I mistakenly, by the way, when we were discussing, I wish I knew his name as well, but I'll refer to him as the Bill Clinton kid. We were discussing... You laugh. We were discussing that he stormed into, I think it was like BlizzCon or something, and was saying free Hong Kong. I mistakenly said, no, this is bad, conflating that it had something to do with China's kind of attempted takeover of Taiwan. In reality, it's not at all. So my ignorance really shown there. No, yeah. So indeed, free Hong Kong is an activist movement. So I had to look this up. So very cool. And thank you to Gage for correcting us and keeping us straight here on PXN.
Yeah, well, too little, too late. I mean, this is your last episode. You're gone. So, I mean, the apology was nice, but there's not a whole lot we can do for you here. If it
It's
were
been a
up to
good
me,
run.
if it were up to me, I'd say that's fine. But you know,
Man, I was pulling for you to make it to 200, but
Whatever. Folks, the topic of the show this week is our Game of the Year 2022. But first, the show always starts with the quick bites. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Make sure I have the right doc up. Okay. Most of the news this week is going to be in quick bites because our actual news of the week is stuff pertaining to Game of the Year and our 2022 predictions and stuff. So quick bites might be a little not so quick this week. But anyway, first item. A Death Stranding movie is in the works from Hammerstone Studios and Kojima Productions. Quote, we hear that it will introduce new elements and characters within the Death Stranding universe. Not yet clear who will write and direct the pick, though we understand it's now on the fast track with development underway. This is off the heels of last week's discussion. Are there too many video game adaptations now turning into movies? And then this dropped the next day, to which my answer is still yes.
Yeah. Did they say that Kojima is on board with this, or is it just I guess it's too early to say that.
Yeah, KGP is working with Hammerstone to,
Okay.
yeah.
I
Which,
think he's stated before that he wants to make movies. He wants to push into that
yes.
media, which is unfortunate because it kind of reinforces that weird sort of I don't know. It seems like a lot of people think that film is like the ultimate media, where it's like games have a lot of strong suits. It's kind of weird that he was obsessed with going to film, but you know.
Well, it's something he's always wanted to do, and I'm happy that he's getting to do it, even though he's not like directing or writing. He is having a part in it. My thing is like, I wish he would do something new if that was the case. They are going to expand the Death Stranding universe with the movie. Like they're going to explore different characters, or whatever. I think they said, and like kind of do stuff that the game didn't. But still, it's like when the game is that such like very much narrative focused, then why adapt it into a movie at all? I don't know.
Right.
Again, we'll continue to have these conversations.
Let's be honest, Christian. You'll be there day one watching it.
Will I?
Well,
I don't know.
I'll probably be there D1 day. I'm just curious.
I'll have to see who's writing and directing first, and then I'll decide.
No way. I won't look at any of that, and I'll take like 5 gummies, and then I'll be like, let's go. Let's see what happens.
5 is too many. Oh my god. Okay. Gage mentioned gummies. I have to say, because it's been a while since I've been on the show. Avatar 2 came out. Right? There's an Avatar game. This is my segue. This is the link. An Avatar game is coming out. So I went to go see The Way of Water, and I had a gummy. I think I mentioned this in the private chat. Before the Oppenheimer IMAX sneak peek started, the gummy was hitting. And when the IMAX sneak peek began, and the fucking, the loud music and it was happening, it made my heart beat off rhythm just once, enough to give me, like, send me into, like, kind of an induced anxiety kind of episode where I had to, like, tell myself to breathe manually in and out to calm myself down.
Jesus.
It was so good. It was very much worth it.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like the opposite of good, but I mean,
let's move on. Our next item here. Sony has confirmed that Spider-Man 2 will release for PS5 in fall 2023. Now, normally I'd be like, haha, that's funny. But it is Insomniac, and Insomniac kind of hits those release dates when they say they're going to release. So it might happen. I can see it.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
I can't wait to see it and hear more about it and other games, because we haven't for quite a while.
Well, okay, we'll discuss. There's one segment here we'll discuss. Okay, moving on. Amazon has signed to the next Tomb Raider game from Crystal Dynamics. I'm not sure. I think they are the publisher. I don't think they're the developers. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about this. It's going to be TBD on whether or not this game is going to be exclusive to. I think the ones in the past were exclusive to the Xbox platform, if I remember correctly. So we'll see if this one is exclusive as well, or if it'll continue with Camila Luddington. Who knows?
Tomb Raider? Tomb Raider was not exclusive.
Timed exclusive.
Rise of the Tomb Raider was, but then Shadow was same day and date with everything.
Gotcha. I never played Shadow, so I don't remember. Thank you.
Yes. But yeah, this is kind of weird because the parent company that owns Crystal Dynamics, they're a publisher themselves, so it's weird that they wouldn't just publish it themselves, because it's Embracer, right, that owns them now.
It does now, yeah. That's very recently, right? A couple months ago, 2 months ago.
Yeah, that's interesting that they're partnering with Amazon for that instead of them just doing it. But I don't know. Maybe need more funding or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting when this game gets revealed to see what it's actually looking like. Because as of right now, I can't really envision what that is. Or are they rebooting, sequeling? I don't know. Speaking of weird new projects, Guerrilla Games continues to expand the Horizon universe with a new multiplayer online co-op project. How are we feeling on this? This is like the 3rd or 4th thing Guerrilla is doing with Horizon right now. That's not main Horizon proper. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know how everyone else is feeling. I beat the first one. I never finished I haven't finished for Forbidden West yet. But even not finishing it, I feel Horizoned out, even though I
Yes.
haven't even like finished the game yet. I don't really know if I want this, I don't know if there's a lot of people out there clamoring for it either. I just could be in the wrong circles, but I feel like okay, this is a lot of Horizon for a series that doesn't seem to be as on fire as these people seem to believe it is.
Yeah, in the same exact boat as you, Ro. Like, I didn't finish it, Forbidden West either, and yeah, I was very much Forbidden Wested out.
Yeah, but then again, there's Kirik in the chat who I know loves it, right?
That's true.
That's like one of his game of the years. So we could be the odd people out here, and then this is like huge news for some people.
Right.
Power to you, Kirik. But in my opinion, I think Guerrilla should be. I don't know. I would like it if they were doing something else, because something about Horizon just hasn't been memorable. Like, even though like playing the games is like, I feel like I'm having a great time, and when I put it down, I instantly forget about like what kind of world building they were doing, and the story was like a little, like the ending was a little bit didn't nail it as much for me. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know if I need more kind of universe expanding, and it seems to be kind of the trend with Sony right now. It's like, how do we get more things that kind of build our little world of games? Like, well, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a hater.
Well, and maybe this pivot will work very well for Horizon. Like, I think we briefly talked about in our private chat. I said to Gage, like, maybe this is a survival game that could be really cool in the vein of like the Ark games. So yeah, if they do something cool like that, then maybe that'll get some new interest for people that aren't as, are kind of tired of the mainline franchise.
And
here's
that could work, just to jump in, because it's not super successful. I actually think it's an okay game, but the Conan Exiles game is very much, you can play it in first person, but it's very much developed from third person. It does have kind of this Souls light sort of feel to it, where it's all about parrying and dodging, but it's still your sort of build up your base, sort of block by block survival game Ark style stuff. So with that, like, after playing that game, I could definitely see a world where you could do something in the Horizon universe like that. Now, whether or not that is warranted is a whole other decision. I haven't played any Horizon yet. I was gonna say Forza. Fuck.
that's funny.
Yeah. So I mean, it definitely could work if they wanted to go that route. But my big concern is that, like, man, it seems like Sony is just very, very franchise focused right now. Lots of sequels, and not even just like, oh, we're gonna continue with the next game. Like, oh, this is doing well, let's get like a spin-off and a sequel and a movie or TV show tie-in. Yeah, they're just like franchising it like like it's getting a little bit much. That's my only concern.
It's like MCU fatigue is what I'm akinning it to be honest. Yeah.
They're doing it to every one of their IPs, it feels like. It's almost like, all right, slow down, like
cart before the horse type energy.
Yeah.
Before we move on, I'll say, and this is like on the opposite end, is that Ghost of Tsushima, when they did their multiplayer project that came out like right after that, I think was free. If you owned Ghost of Tsushima, you could play this expansion for free. Was some of the most interesting stuff I found from Ghosts, like the kind of gameplay mechanics that you had to do to work together to like kill enemies with like various buffs. And then in terms of art style, like they got really weird with it in the multiplayer side of it. If Guerrilla brings that kind of energy, I think this could be kind of a fun thing to do with friends as a co-op project. But other than that, I'm not sure how many people are going to be as invested in this. So we'll have to wait and see.
Eric says they have to do something. They're about to lose the COD franchise. I don't know that they're about to lose the COD franchise, Kirik, but even if that merger goes through, but we'll see.
We'll see. Moving on.
If that was a joke, that's funny. Also.
Got the whole squad laughing. Get it?
I get it.
2 bits of Microsoft news. Microsoft could introduce a cheaper ad-supported tier of Xbox Game Pass, according to a survey. 2 quick things. Could not imagine Game Pass getting cheaper. That's crazy. 1. 2. What would an ad-supported tier of Xbox Game Pass look like? Because I have no clue.
Hopefully, what if it's like it interrupts the game that you're playing? That would suck.
That would not be worth it. I would
Not even a little bit.
Yeah. Nope. I would hate that.
What if they put it in loading screens?
There's really not loading screens anymore, really, on next gen anyways.
Okay, what if every time Kratos shimmies through a cave, a little thing pops up on the left-hand corner and is like, "Have you heard of PlayStation Extra Plus tier premium?"
Dude, I would kill myself. I wouldn't destroy the console. The console stays. I'm done. I'm the one leaving.
I don't like this world anymore. Yeah, no, that would be terrifying.
Or maybe even. Sorry,
Go ahead, Ben. Sorry. No, go for it. Go for it.
I was just maybe thinking like maybe they give you like an hour of gameplay and then you have to watch a 2-minute clip or something. I don't know. There's got to be something, that's going to get them revenue to recoup that. But yeah, I don't know that this is really necessary because Game Pass isn't that expensive as it is, I feel like. But I don't know.
I would prefer like in-game ads. Like, you play Forza Horizon, they got like stuff on the side, little billboards and stuff for, Uber Eats or whatever, Grubhub. Anyway, I don't know. Final bit of Microsoft news here in the quick bite. This one is actually worthy of a little bit of a discussion here. Gage sent this at 3:30 in the morning. Microsoft is planning to do some event in Q1 in 2023. This is a rumor to showcase their promised titles for the first half of the year. Gage, did you read any of this rumor from this Reddit post?
I did. So it's so Reddit post. All right, let's all settle down here. It is a link to a Windows Central article by editor-in-chief Jez Corden. Thank you very much. Let's just simmer down. Yeah, there's rumors that they're working on a show for Q1 2023. The rumor within the rumor, which is something that you mentioned in the private chat, but I also mentioned like a month and a half ago, was that both of these big players don't really want to do a big press conference right now because of their ongoing legal battles. Sony doesn't want to be like, obviously it's good for their console to come out and say, look at all these games you can only get on PlayStation, but the thinking is that won't look great for their CMA stuff that they're going through and all that stuff. So but they're gonna have to get something out eventually, right? Because people, you're still a business, fan base like us still want to know when things are coming out. So yeah, rumor is early 2023. What do we think about that?
I think
How would the optics look for Xbox? Dan, please.
No, you go ahead.
Because it's the same kind of like nerves that I imagine on both for both companies. It's like, is Xbox super eager to show off their stuff right now when they're like, are they just as concerned as how they would appear to the CMA? If they showed up like, here are all the games coming to Xbox, it's like, okay, well they have a bunch of games coming out too. Like, do they need another merger or another acquisition, I should say?
Right.
That said, I do think there was a lot of people after the Game Awards coming out and being like, hey, Xbox didn't have like any presence here. And, we're sure there are think pieces out there that are like, 2023 is going to be a big year, but it's one thing to write these things. It's also another thing to show them and build anticipation. They're a little bit, they're this similar, but they're also a little bit different. And I think a Q1 2023 show would go far for Xbox people. That'd be a great place to show off Wonder Woman if they have that, as well as Indiana Jones, either of those two. And if anything that Ninja Theory is working on, whether it be Hellblade 2, another look with a release date, or their Project Mara, I think would be. I mean, those are 3 bangers right there. If they do anything else, small partnerships, it's all just filling out the show and getting the slate for 2023 Xbox. That'd be huge.
Yeah, and they've got to show something like for this year. Like we've got virtually no information about games coming out this year besides Redfall and Starfield. Like, of course, we know Forza's coming, but like we've seen nothing from that game, and there's a lot of stuff in the fall that we're not really sure what we're going to get because we don't know when Starfield's coming out. Maybe it gets pushed all the way to the fall, which would be a year, I guess, push from what it was originally supposed to be. But yeah, they've got to start showing some stuff because they made all those acquisitions many years ago, and we're still waiting to see the fruits of that labor. But hopefully start paying off here soon.
We'll see. Ro, any thoughts from you before we close out Quick Bites? I don't know, I put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No, it's all right. I really hope that they do show off some stuff, and I hope that that goes for everybody. Because I feel like we haven't seen a lot from anybody, any of the big three. Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft obviously included. But out of the three, definitely Microsoft, as you guys were saying, is the one who could benefit the most from it. Because I feel like people are going to show off from Nintendo and Sony no matter what. But I think Microsoft needs to show off what they got cooking the most. Especially after the Game Awards, where even Nintendo didn't have that much to show besides the Fire Emblem advertisement for the DLC. But I feel like that conversation is so different than how we talk about Microsoft in like the past year, because Nintendo has Breath of the Wild, and that's really all they kind of need for people to be excited. So yeah, I hope Microsoft does the Q1. But I hear what Gage is saying with the whole Call of Duty debacle, where they're kind of just waiting for the other guy to drop the hat there.
Right. And I think Nintendo kind of gets away with it too, because they do a really good job of communicating regularly with their directs. So it's not like Nintendo fans are waiting with bated breath for once or twice a year to hear what's up. Like, you guys are regularly updated, with one game at a time, a little 20-minute direct. So I feel like that's why Nintendo fans, whenever these events happen, it's never really an expectation, because you guys know you'll get a direct within the next, 2-3 months about one game coming up.
Kirby Air Ride 2.
Let's go.
You know what Gage needs? Ro, you said that Nintendo has Breath of the Wild. That's all they need. Gage, all he needs is State of Decay 3.
That's all I need.
Just give it to Microsoft.
That's all I need.
More like micro hard. That is it for our Quick Bites. Let's move on to our PXN News of the Week. Yo, today we're going to tally our 2022 predictions.
Oh no!
A long time ago, in a Kentucky far, far away, we decided to give 3 predictions each on what would happen in 2022.
Oh no!
Oh dear!
It is time to go over our predictions and tally up the points.
We're gonna do. These.
I did too.
Yeah, this is exciting. We're going to do everyone's first ones, and then everyone's seconds, and everyone's thirds, okay? My order here that I wrote them down is Daniel, then Ro, then me, then Gage. Dan, Starfield is delayed to 2023.
What?
Yes.
Let's go.
Wow. All right.
Starting off strong.
And starting off strong with 1 point.
That's epic.
Great.
Ro.
God.
Mario Odyssey is unveiled. Mario Odyssey team unveils their new game. Either a Donkey Kong game or Mario Odyssey 2. Did not happen.
No, did not
0
happen.
points.
Ooh.
Where is their game?
Dude, I'm waiting.
I don't know.
I'm waiting. Hopefully it's Mario Galaxy 3. Am I right, fellas?
Oh yeah.
Anyway. Me. Breath of the Wild 2 does not release this year.
Oh.
1 point for me. We got him. Gage. For some reason, I highlighted this in red. I don't know why. We'll find out.
State of Decay 3.
Redfall comes out, and it's good.
Oh.
And in parentheses, good Metacritic score and Twitter buzz. Redfall has yet to come out, so 0 points.
Dang it.
That's super. Yeah. Why am I such a fucking naive piece of shit?
Let's move on. Dan's number 2. Coalition reveals a brand new IP. They're taking a break from Gears, although the next Gears game still is in development, though. Coalition, I don't think revealed anything this year.
No.
Gears did partner with Fall Guys, though.
That's true. Yeah. They faked me out there.
0.00001 point. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, nothing. Ro, you'll have to help me out for the second one. I don't think they did, but we'll find out. 2. Atlas unveils Project Re-Fantasy. No, that did not happen.
It did not happen, unfortunately.
Yeah. 0
One
points
day.
for Ro.
One day it'll happen.
One day.
I hope.
Bro, you keep predicting this every time there's an award show or
I gotta do it someday. Someday.
How'd it happen?
Eventually you'll be right.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Me. Bloodborne PS5 remaster plus PC port, 60 frames per second. Yeah, fucking right. I'm still waiting. 0 points. Gage, I highlighted yours in yellow. I don't know why. Let's find out. I think this means like half points. Apparently I went over this at some point. I don't remember. The Last of Us remake comes out this year. Oh, okay.
Okay.
First PlayStation game that comes day and date with PC.
Oh, you
damn.
almost had it. That's
Almost
half a
had
point,
it.
I guess.
Half a point for you, Gage.
I think
Half.
this is the soonest turnaround by far, though, because it launched in September, coming out in March,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you're right.
Hmm.
Nailed it. Didn't nail it in early 2022 when you predicted this, but still. Dan, your final one. PlayStation announces Uncharted 5. It's not
No.
named 5, and it stars
What?
a spoiler. So
Bro, way out of line, way out of pocket. There's no
I
way I didn't give
respect
you
it.
shit for that.
I respect it, Dan. You swung for the fences.
I did.
And that's the fun. Yeah, I respect you.
Thank you.
Ro, a new Nintendo Online game, Zelda game, dungeon crawler. Oh, okay, I understand. A new Nintendo Online game, similar to like the Mario one.
Yeah,
It's a Zelda game and it's a dungeon crawler.
did
No,
not.
no. Ro, you
Feels
are
like
at
they're
0
going with
points, my
that.
friend.
Oh my god. What else is new?
Me, final one. Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog announces a new game this fall. It is a new IP. I am still waiting
Mm.
with bated breath.
You've been
0
waiting a
points.
while, apparently.
We'll see about that. I feel like there's still 3 teams. We talked about this anyway. Gauge your final one. Xbox Capture Overhaul. We're talking clips, party chat audio, editing, etc.
Wow, I really gave them way too much credit this year. They couldn't get one of those things.
And now you may be
And
thinking,
that didn't come from nowhere. They mentioned that in like in a Xbox Wire forever ago that they were gonna overhaul the capture. God damn it, Phil!
I think they did make some updates to it, but it wasn't to the extent of like what you were hoping for. Like,
Oh yeah, the captures work perfect. Like they work now. That's the update
Yes.
that they made.
yeah.
Like we still can't do anything with them.
and now you may be thinking,
God
oh,
damn it.
okay, that means Gage is in last, whatever, Rose in third, and then Christian and Dan are tied for first.
Oh, am I in third?
With 0.5?
I got a. Oh, I didn't even remember I got a point. Never mind. Okay.
No, sorry, no, 0. I'm sorry. I did this wrong. Gage, I apologize to you. Bro, you're in
No,
last.
you know,
Gage, you're
you
in third.
gravitated towards dunking on me. I get it. No, let's call it what it is.
Yeah. Oops. Whoopsie. I decided to have some fun with it. We also did some various open critic predictions towards the end of the year that I wrote down. Every one of these that you get right will be 1 point added to you.
Oh wow.
I want to redeem myself.
What do we get if we win all the points?
I don't know, a kiss? What do you want? And so I figured for open critic predictions, it's whoever is the closest gets the point.
That's fair.
Okay.
Okay.
Without going over. or
Closest
just
without
in
going
general?
over? Ah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not unaware of this. Is that Price is Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could do that if you wanted to.
It's up to you. We're just clarifying.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys decide. I mean, I haven't started looking at the.
I guess let's
Open
just
critic
do
yet.
closest to, because it could, like, Metacritics can kind of go all over the place.
It's
Okay.
fair.
I'm on open critic because we did open critic predictions. So
Whatever,
that's
same thing.
our first. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games to go over. 8 points.
I already know.
Our first one up is
that I
Sonic Frontiers.
screwed
Oh god.
Okay, let's go over our predictions. I said it'd be in the low 70s, specifically 73. Ro, you said it'd be in the high 70s. Didn't give an actual number. Dan said 77. Gage said 69. Sonic
Nice.
Frontiers is at
72.
72.
Yeah.
Wow.
Point
Who got it?
Macias. Point
Oh.
Macias. Next one up, Modern Warfare 2. 2022. Dan,
Yep.
you said 88.
That's really high.
Gage said, that is very high. Gage a little bit lower at 84. I also went with 84. Ro, I like it, playing the game right underneath at 83. Our top average is 75. Ro, you're the closest.
Really? It got that low, eh? That's
75?
crazy.
Yeah. That's not too bad. That's pretty normal
No,
for Call of Duty games.
that is. But usually, I feel like usually they score like it's usually like 8s. But I'm surprised. Okay, I respect that. That's a good score. That's what it deserves because it's broken a little bit.
It's a little broken.
It's a little broken.
Overwatch 2, Gage, mid 60s. Dan, upper 70s, specifically 76. Me, 73. Ro, high 70s.
I wish I gave actual numbers.
The average is 77.
What did
Dan-
Dan say?
He said high 70s, same as you, but he gave a specific number,
We should go
76.
to Dan, then.
I'm inclined to
Yeah.
give it to Dan. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I don't know why I didn't give numbers. What was I doing?
The fact that Overwatch 2 scored higher on average than Modern Warfare 2, even though it's the same game, all they did was add about like predatory monetary practices is insane to me. That's
Oh my God.
insane.
Well, don't forget the first game kind of had that too with the loot boxes. Technically.
Sure, but I mean,
right.
you bought it once and then you had it. Like heroes weren't locked behind. Every new hero they added was free.
This next one, we all overshot, by the way. It's Gotham Knights.
Oh no.
Gage said it was landing in the mid 70s. I said it'd land at 77. Dan said it would hit 80.
Oh,
And Ro said it would hit 78.
To be fair, when we made these predictions, it was before any of us knew that it would require a flux capacitor to run at 30 frames at 1080. So,
Dude, what guys do that? Digital Foundry,
Digital
their
Foundry,
video, their PC video on Gotham Knights is hilarious. The actual open critic for this is 69. Nice. Which means the closest is either me or Gage. I gave 77. Gage gave mid 70s.
but
So
yes,
that'd be Gage, eh?
hell yeah.
What?
Did you have to say A like that?
Yeah.
you got a problem? Boot it.
Yeah, there it is. Got to make fun of my nationality. That's good. No, it's good.
Okay. 4 more to go. We're looking at Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Ro, you guessed 83.
Oh.
I guessed 87. Daniel, a little bit under at 85. Congratulations, Gage. You nailed it exactly with 72.
Whoa.
I did on purpose too.
What were us three
Let him
thinking?
cook.
Well, I don't think any of us thought it was going to be broken.
Yeah, that's fair.
My goodness.
Gage knew something,
Gage
dude.
knew
He was on to
something.
something.
I didn't. I just did it out of principle. I was like, one of these fucking Pokemon games has got to get scored what it deserves, and lo and behold, finally, it happened.
Piece of crap fucking Pokemon game is going to run like shit. I'm kidding. God
Wow.
of War Ragnarok. I remember us having the discussion here. Is it going to land higher or lower than the original? You know? Let's go over our guesses. Me. I said it would land a bit under at 90. Dan, you said 92. I should look at what the original is.
I think
Hold
it's
the phone.
94, right? Or 95?
94 open critic. Okay. So me, I guess 90. Dan, you guessed 92. Gage, 89. And Ro, you also came in with 92. We allowed it.
We allowed it. Oops.
Can you guess?
We want it. Wait,
I don't
Ro
know
got it.
where you are.
This way.
There we go. There we go.
Can you guess the open critic for Ragnarok?
92.
Okay, well, you're looking at it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's 92.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
No, I'm sorry. No, 93. 93. It's 93.
Oh, close enough.
It's 93, yeah. So Dan and Roe both get the points on that one.
Yeah.
Here we go. Callisto Protocol.
You were dead on with this one. I remember. Look at him getting giddy.
I
Look at him.
just, I just watched
I said this in conversation. I'm looking at my guesses. It's like, damn, why did I guess this?
I remembered. No, I remembered because we all thought you were going low, but you've got this fucking right on the money. I can guarantee
No,
you.
you'll see here. Callisto Protocol. Dan, 89.
Rip.
Gage, 88. Me, 86.
Wow.
Fucking Roshan, 85.
There you go. You got it.
Of course, Callisto Protocol not getting very good reviews when that came out, and that hit at 68 at Open Critic average.
I could have sworn you went like 10 points lower on that one. Wow. I was way off base. Never mind. Roshan wins again. Also, by using his bullshit strategy.
Don't hate the player, hate the game, eh?
It's a strategy.
I'll hate both. It's fine.
Oh, I fucking hate you guys for this.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Last one. High on Life. Me. I guess 73. Dan. 80. Gage. Quit biting my ankles. 73. Roe. Quit biting our ankles. 73.
Just bite everybody's legs. Yeah.
Open Critic average. 70. We all split the points on that one.
Dang it.
So, okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work backwards. Let's do, since Roe was in last, I'll add all our rows right now. Mhm.
Ro, I
It's
just
the-
want
it's
to
sim-
tell. I just want to tell you, I watched back the clip when we did our fist bump, and we
You
both
did the
were.
opposite direction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like-
I had a feeling. Oh god. I was looking at my screen here, and then I looked on the Twitch bot, and it's like, wait, my books are on the other side. Wait, what's going on? Oh my god.
That's great.
Give me another 2 minutes here, and I'll have final scores. Fill the air for me.
Do do do. Oh, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Can we just talk about how I gave way too high of scores for everything? I gave 80s and above. It sounds like for almost everything.
You had faith. You had
Yeah.
faith.
I was too high on life. Get it? High in life. Sorry,
Have you started that yet?
that was funny.
We'll get
that
into it in
would
the
be-
next segment.
Yeah, that would be a different discussion, Gage. Yeah.
Last one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bum, bum.
Na, 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 na,
Bum,
na.
Here
How about,
we go.
Oh, sorry.
How about what?
I was just gonna say, how about Glenn in the chat, who's loving Gotham Knights game at not such a great.
Glenn's eyes are really bad anyway, so he can't really tell when the game's running at 22 frames per second. He's just like, oh, it's Robin. I love Robin.
I hate you guys. In fourth place, me. Yay.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Dead last. With
Nice.
3 points. Gage, you salvaged third place with 3.5.
That's bullshit. How does this
Wow.
keep like even when I win, I still lose. Winning for me is just coming in not last.
Second place, Glenn. We
Wow.
love you.
Oh.
And tied for first with 4 points each.
Let's
No
Daniel and
go.
Roe.
way.
I hate Dan, dude.
Let's go. Roe.
This way.
Has he
Yeah.
lost anything yet?
No.
That's so
Oh my goodness.
stupid.
And I
It
cheated.
just- I mean, Roe, I think we need to just keep telling them that they need to start listening to us more, right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely.
Next year, if we do the Open Critic predictions, I'm like subtracting 10 points from all my predictions.
For real. And we absolutely should do this next year.
And speaking of doing this next year, stay tuned. Sometime in January, we'll be doing our 2023 predictions. That way we can go over this again at the end of the year, because it's usually pretty fun to see what we got right, what we got wrong. And if you're listening, tell us what you think is going to happen in 2023. Will Spider-Man actually release? We'll find out. That is it for our PXN News of the Week. Let's mosey on over into what you got for me. Daniel, you're up.
Thank you, Christian. I am right here on. No, I'm just kidding. It sounded like you were introing me for like a game show. I have been playing DMZ Raid, which I played with both Gage and Christian, and man, that was a ton of fun. I think.
Ooh, is it good?
Honestly,
Was it?
Honestly, I think that's my favorite part of Modern Warfare 2 is that raid. That was really cool, and I hope they keep doing more of these and they come out with a good cadence. So yeah, it was really fun. We encountered one weird bug that got Gage stuck in one part of the map.
Okay, or we're all apes and didn't think to check the option, which eventually cleared it, because that also probably could have fixed it immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, we could have went to
Important
last
to point that
checkpoint.
out, to be fair.
That's fair. Yes.
The thing is, with these raids, I'm sorry, Dan, keep going, and then we'll talk about it after.
No, yes. I was just very excited to play it. It was very unique. Like there was a lot of cool tasks that they had you do. Like you look through the video monitors to get different codes to enter codes into the system, and just us figuring that out was really cool. And then Christian going up there and just typing a random 3-digit number, thinking he was going to get it on the first try.
No.
Right.
I'm
Okay,
just kidding.
this is you didn't listen to me,
Oh, I'm kidding.
you bastard. Never listen to me. There was no way for me to exit that without submitting a code first, so I had to type in something. Hence the 696.
Yeah.
Mm. I will say, regardless of how you feel about it, whether or not it hit for you or not, they put a lot more into the raid than I thought they would in terms of
Yes.
like effort. That was my big takeaway. It had a custom cutscene in intro and outro, fully mocapped with like the principal actors, and the like Dan was saying, the amount of like objectives you had to do and the dynamic. Now, whether or not they can keep that tempo with the rest of them and however many more they're going to make is another thing. But I just wanted to point that out there. Whether or not the raid hits for you is besides the point. I'm surprised with how much effort they put into it.
I think, yeah.
I was fully expecting just like another co-op mission, but like with the difficulty cranked, and it's just annoying. And don't get me wrong, this was fucking annoying at certain parts, but like it was kind of fun to do the puzzles and like the sharing the oxygen and all that stuff, right?
And can they keep it unique? That's what I hope, that they keep changing it up
Right.
and not like, the next section has another thing where you look through video cameras to get, you know,
Right. Right.
keep us guessing. I like that a lot.
My biggest surprise with the raid is how much they had us engage with the mechanics. I think if you're going to do a raid, like the big inspiration right now is going to be Destiny, because I think Destiny does really long and unique raids. I don't think Call of Duty is anywhere close to that, but what they offered for the very first one is at least a kind of taste at that in the world of Call of Duty, and that was fresh enough for it to be fun in Call of Duty. I don't think it was as complex as anything that like Destiny does, but it still felt satisfying to actually be doing it in the moment in Call of Duty, and it was pretty fun, especially like towards the end, like, oh, rotate, like that. That's just
Right.
like that's just cool.
Well,
And then yeah,
and to go on the back of that, the barrier to entry is way lower, because in Destiny you have to have the right equipment, the right weapons. You got to make sure you're at the right level. Like this, you can just pick up and jump right in. You don't have to worry about any of that. So that's very
that's
cool.
true.
Right.
For future ones, I would love to do like some kind of like class setup. I think going into one would be really cool.
I think that's a missed opportunity because their co-op is the same, where you can't select that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's strange because I know in Modern Warfare 2019 you could go in with a custom loadout. So I mean, maybe that's something they can fix, in post, as it were. But I agree with that. It'd be cool to have some sort of like progression that is unique to that, because then you could start getting into the more complex Destiny like raids where it's like, okay, make sure you have equipment like this and that and so on and so forth.
And I will say, apart from that bug that kind of let Gage just kind of sit there for a while Dan and I had to progress for him, I thought it was a very cool first raid.
Yeah.
I think everyone should. If you have Call of Duty, it's 1,000% a thing you should be trying out. It's pretty fun.
And we should point out you actually get a decent, worthwhile reward too in a game that is incredibly stingy and notorious for putting all the coolest design things behind a $20 paywall. They give you a pretty cool skin and a new operator for completing it, which is cool. And as long as they keep doing that, even if it's only like a weapon blueprint, I think that's totally fair. I'm really liking. Again, it's the bare minimum. I think it should be a lot more across the industry. But in terms of this year's Call of Duty, I'm liking how you can play a lot of these different game modes and get something from all of them. I think they've done a good job at making each of these game modes kind of feel like they're worthwhile in a sense, like relative to Call of Duty.
I take it back. My favorite part about this raid is when you guys made me get out of bed to play it. That was sick.
Right. You were not gonna get it, and we are like, no, you're gonna come up and play, and for some reason you did. And it was great.
Yeah, it was great.
I needed you. We needed the third.
Yeah, I was the third. Dan, what else?
Indeed. I have also, and I know I just reneged on everything that I said I was going to do last week.
Dan loves not to play games.
No,
finish
that's
games.
not true. I was literally doing stuff every day until even through the weekend, and I was like, shit, it's Sunday night, and I haven't played any more God of War.
Wait!
Yeah, I pretty much said that. I was like, wait, I haven't played any God of War. So at that point, I was like, all right, I have a decision. I could play a few more hours of God of War, or I could try to get more breadth of games. So I had planned to do more than just this next one, but this next one kind of pulled me in a little longer than I expected. But High on Life, I checked out, downloaded. A lot of people have been actually praising it despite the mixed reaction on reviews. I guess it's at 70, so that, or whatever it was, 70, I think, which isn't bad. It's pretty good. So yeah, jumping in, I had zero expectations. I've enjoyed the trailers that I've seen. The comedy seems like very up my alley. So I jumped in and played, and so far I'm about three hours in, I think. And I am very much enjoying it, and I really like the comedy as I was expecting to from the trailers, and I think it's pretty well written, despite maybe the story being just like a little bit, like what the hell's going on here. It's just fun. I found a lot of fun stuff in the gameplay mechanics that they put in while being basic. Like it's just fun to shoot these stupid aliens. I don't know. But yeah, thus far I've enjoyed everything that I've played in the 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Yeah, the weapons talking are just fantastic. I love that. I eat that up. So really cool.
Bro, what have you been getting into?
River City Girls, more River City Girls 2. I've been playing that. For those who don't know, it is a side-scrolling beat 'em up, sort of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge that came out earlier this year. And this is the sequel to the first one, but it is part of a long-running series called River City Ransom that has been around for years and years and years. But this is one that is that stars the girlfriends of the main characters of the old ones, and it's awesome. It's just pure fun. Like everything about it is fun. The gameplay is fun. The music is fun. The story is dumb in the most fun way. It's presented in like a comic booky style, like the cutscenes. It's like pages of a manga, and it's all voice acted, and it's really fun. Like I'm having a blast with it. Leveling up the character. There's like I think 6 playable characters in this one, and I'm playing as Misako, which is the black-haired girl. And yeah, just leveling her up and just getting more combos and different abilities is lots of fun. I really don't have much to say about it besides it's fun, because it's not like it's not a super in-depth game for me to go on and on about it critically. It's just a fun thing to put on and grind out. There's a bunch of secrets that I've been able to find. There's like a door that I found earlier on in the game, and there's like making Signalis like esque sounds coming from it. It's like, this is weird, like what's going on? And it said, don't forget to come back to the secret once you've progressed the game further. And it's like there's a bunch of stuff like that where you play the game, you find some Easter eggs, don't forget to come back to this and uncover it later. And that's been grabbing my attention as well. But yeah, it's definitely itched its way onto my favorite games this year, even though it came out near the end.
Yo.
But yeah, I'm having a blast with it, and it's awesome. Definitely my type of humor too. Like the writing is what I like when they do comedy in video games. It's very, very meta, and sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes that's pretty cringe, but it's working here for sure.
Sometimes I feel like I'm Ro's father. Like I'm gonna just like, hey bud, how you doing? I'm gonna see him like on his bed. He's wearing cozy socks, got a little hot chocolate. And he's playing River City Girls 2 in bed, like having a good time. It's like, yeah, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
My kid's having fun. I'm glad he's
We're
having fun. You know?
Having lots of fun.
I have one question. Is this game
Yeah.
co-op or is this only?
It is.
Oh,
it's
wow.
it's 4-player co-op, like Shredder's Revenge. And yeah, you could play as any of the characters.
Is this a
Yes.
Game Pass game?
It's not. It's not. You gotta buy it.
Ah.
Yeah, if it was, I would have definitely told you guys to.
I would have
been
been there in a
great, yeah.
heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could have said cousin. I could have said
yeah.
brother. I could have said I'm Ro's dad. Let me take care of you, son.
I mess with it though. I like it. Take care of me.
All I played was the raid, the DMZ raid. Take care of me. That's all I've played. I've been chilling otherwise. Gage?
Oh my god, this is an episode. Okay. I have been still chipping away at God of War Ragnarok. This game doesn't end ever. And I'm enjoying it. And I am enjoying it. Regardless of how it sounds, I promise I do like the game. I think it's good. Modern Warfare 2, I've been hooked on DMZ, waiting for that Tarkov wipe, which is coming up any day now. Very exciting. So spoiler alert for my next few, what you got for me is just going to be Tarkov, and more Tarkov. But for now, it's Modern Warfare DMZ, playing DMZ with Glenn and Dan, and doing the raid with Christian. Good time.
Hello.
I'm enjoying it for what it is. And then I caved and I gave High on Life a try. And you know what? I'm having fun with it. It's I think the game's kind of brought up an interesting conversation about what makes a good game, especially if it's a comedy game designed to make you laugh, because I totally see how if you don't vibe with the comedy of this game, there's nothing here for you at all, right? So it's an interesting discussion to have, because I just find it interesting, because you could say the same about movies, but when I think of really good comedy movies, they're also just good movies in general. So how does that translate to games? I don't know. Either way, I'm enjoying it. It's not every joke lands for me, but I think when it does, it kind of makes up for all the times it doesn't. So I'm overall having a good time with it. I love when you first go to the slums and how you have to get into the slums. That debacle there, I had my girlfriend sitting on the couch with me and we were playing it and she was dying laughing. It's a good time. It's a really good time. Highly recommend you guys check it out. It's free on Game Pass.
Dude, there's so much quantity there, Gage, that like it's like most of it has to or at least some of it has to hit for people, right? Like it's
for sure.
funny.
And that's kind of this person's style. Like I've not watched a whole lot of Rick and Morty. I think I've maybe seen one episode, like shown at a friend's house here and there, and like I can kind of see that sort of through line. It's definitely it's almost grating, the type of comedy that is, where it's just like wearing you down, but it's good. I find it funny, and like some of the more, the reason why I really like comedy games is like I like when you can play a game that sort of makes these jokes that only you would get as somebody who plays video games, right? Like there's a lot of things to poke fun at, and like we've all seen a couple snippets here and there going around on Twitter, but there's more than that in the actual game that's a bit more nuanced and fun, and it's kind of fun to play a game that just makes fun of games and like some of the niches and cliches and nuances and stuff like that. So I'm having fun with it. Definitely I would not spend full $40 on this. I don't think it's quite worth that, but if you have Game Pass, I would say give it a shot.
I have Game Pass and I found out JB Smoove is in it, so I'm thinking maybe I'll
get
high.
Yes, first of all, that's what we did, so definitely do that. But I think there's a lot of celebrity cameos, whether or not they're disclosed or not. Like just from going through, we were just sort of sitting on the couch going, "Is that this person?" Like that definitely sounds like this person. So
interesting.
Yeah.
There you have it. High on Life. Let's get into our topic of the show. Game of the Year 2022. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought Ro was raising his hand.
Oh no, I was just really excited.
We got some rules here. I've asked each crew member to submit a list of 5 games they brought with them. And we're going to reveal them in descending order in a round table format, which means we'll each give our 5th pick, then our 4th, etc., etc.
Right.
The game must have released in 2022. The caveat being that remakes and DLC will be at the discretion of the crew members, meaning if they have it in their list, we can decide if that. I mean, I don't have any nays against it. If it's on their list, why not? Whatever, I won't knock it. Each list is going to be weighted, meaning the higher the game is on your list, the more points their game will earn a first place. Yeah, someone's number 1 will get 5 points, then 4 points, etc., etc. And I will keep count of all the points and then tally it at the end to find out what our top 5 games of 2022 are and what is PXN's Game of the Year. I think we'll do the same order that we usually do things, which is, what is it? Dan, Rowe, me, Gage. Daniel, your number 5 pick.
Yes. I've went back and forth here on this, but I think my number 5 pick is going to be TMNT Shredder's Revenge. Obviously a really fun beat 'em up, successor to the originals, and I've talked about before how meaningful the original was to me, the 1989 arcade game, and it's really a fun experience. And getting to play that with you guys, despite my frustrations with a certain character, which will not be named, we had a lot. We had a lot of fun with that, and yeah, that game is perfectly illustrative of how to make a successor to a really old game. So really cool.
Yes, which another game didn't nail this year.
Yeah.
But this one did. Yeah, it was a lot of fun playing with you guys this year, wasn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Respectable. I like this pick. That's a fun one.
Indeed.
Ro, you're up next.
Yes, I have some honorable mentions too, and I thought I would give.
No, hold on.
Oh.
Save that. Right before we
Okay.
give our number 1, we're going to give our honorable mentions.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. All right, so with that said, my first, we were just shitting on this game just now. My number 5 game is Pokemon Violet.
That's funny.
I know. I love this game, man. Like, Pokemon Violet is simultaneously the best and the worst Pokemon has ever been. On one hand, Pokemon hasn't run so terribly before, hasn't looked as bad as it has. But the fact that it made my list, I think, is testament to how fun the Pokemon gameplay loop is this time. They cut out, everything is refined. They cut out like all the unnecessary bullshit. You don't have to go to a PC to get your Pokemon anymore. They're just there if you want them. The battles are just more streamlined. They cut a lot out of the tutorial part, so you're just back in the game really quickly. I know a lot of people don't play Pokemon for the story unless you're a younger player, or maybe I'm wrong. I don't have a lot of friends that play Pokemon still, so I could be wrong. But I play Pokemon for the story, and I really enjoyed the story this time around. And the 3 paths that they had with the open world thing, they really worked, and they all led very well into the climax of the story. And I think that's testament to how well they wrote the core cast of characters that you spend the most time with in the game: Penny, Arvin, Nimona, and Director Clavel. And they were all fantastic. At the end of all of their stories, I teared up a little bit, and that could be just me. I know that my threshold of crying is very low compared to others, especially when it comes to children's media for some reason. But yeah, I had a great time with Pokemon Violet, and it is exciting to see hopefully them taking a big first step into this open world version of Pokemon. It wasn't a great first step, but I'm definitely excited for the future of Pokemon after playing this, for sure.
Rip Ash, by the way.
Rip
I
Ash,
said Rip, but yeah, he's no longer be the main character.
My goodness. He's getting an 11 episode send off though. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry.
Will you watch? You're gonna watch?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Amazing. Great first picks in both of you. Mine, and then we'll do Gage's. I guess also spoilers. I posted a video on my top 10 games of the year. You caught that on Twitter. You spoiled yourself. Hopefully, I saw Dan liked it. Hopefully, you didn't watch the video.
I did, actually.
Oh, why would you? Why would you?
I mean, I already knew your number 1, so I was just like, I'm just curious.
Still. My number 5 pick is Sifu, which when I first played it, I didn't think yeah, this might be top 10. I didn't think it'd be top 5 until I actually sat down to finalize the list, being like, no, this is like one of the best feeling games that I played this year. And the thing about Sifu is that it's great action. It's fantastic gameplay. It's not perfect, but it's still really, really good. And when I think about like the games that I like, especially with like Dark Souls games that like require like that are difficult games, but a lot of kind of like Dark Souls like games really fail is that it's not difficulty that's the heart of the gameplay. Difficulty is part of it, but it's not the crux. The thesis usually is like how to overcome that difficulty. It's like how am I as a player failing this encounter? What can I be doing better? What did I fail to understand in these mechanics that will then prepare me for my next attempt? And Sifu nailed that. I went from like being, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat this game to, wow, it's been a couple days later and I've platinumed it, and this is one of the most satisfying things I've done this year. Sifu is like great replayability. The art design is freaking phenomenal, especially in level 3, the museum level standout. And I just think it's fucking fantastic. I think it's worth everyone's time. If you can pick it up for like sale price or free, even better. But even full retail is like not that expensive. It's like $20, so well worth the price in my opinion for what you get out of it.
Still need
Gage.
to play it. Still need to play it.
It's good.
All right. I'm going to preface off my list by saying I did not play that many games this year. So my list is going to be skewed in that all of these games are getting the fact, like, yeah, it's been a slow year for Gage. All right. We're just going to preface that. But starting off at number 5, I'm going to go with the one and only Shredder's Revenge. I also enjoyed this quite a bit. It was a very fun throwback. It felt great playing.
It felt great playing as what, Gage?
Oh, playing as the character that I should have been, my natural leading position, which is Leonardo.
Yeah.
And I would just like to say, we died. I am, and we died a lot less when I was playing Leonardo. I'll just say that. So, aside from that little hiccup there, the game it felt great, and it was a good time, and like it feels like that good old fashioned gaming that we complain is like slipping through our fingers. So the fact that this game is even coming out in this year and it feels as good as it does, I think is a testament to the passion that the devs probably had when they were making this. So I love the feel of this game. I love the look. I love the sounds, and I had a great time playing it. So that's my number 5.
Absolutely. Back to you, Daniel, with your number 4 pick.
Number 4 pick. This is gonna be a slightly controversial one. I don't know. It may not be. It may not be. I'm sorry. I'm sure people out there will support me with this, but this panel will probably not. Marvel Snap is my number 4 game.
I'll allow it. Why not?
Well, that's fair. Right. This game is it's really good, and I've literally spent every time like I'm in between something or like waiting on something, or like, if I'm waiting for my food to cook or something that I have a minute or two, I pick up a game of Marvel Snap and I just love it. Like, it brings me back to my college days of playing Hearthstone all the time. And of course, these are the same developers that made Hearthstone. So very good stuff. I really am enjoying this. And obviously I'm a big Marvel fan, of course, that you guys always yell at me for enjoying too much. But I do very much enjoy this game. It's very fun. Very fun.
I'm like Joseph Forrest, but instead of saying fuck the Oscars, it's fuck the MCU. Great pick, Daniel.
Thank you.
Marvel Snap. Ro, your number 4 pick.
Yes. Unlike Pokemon, where Pokemon, or Game Freak, I should say, took a big step forward and a couple of little tiny steps back, HAL Laboratory just took one big step forward. And no steps back. This game only took a step forward, baby. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, bringing the Kirby franchise into 3D, and it just working. Finally, Kirby's in 3D, and it worked for me. I saw Christian do the thumbs down, and I respect Christian, so I understand. But Kirby was fantastic. The gameplay was amazing. The music was amazing. The post-game final boss.
Yes, that I did like.
Oh my god, so good.
Yeah.
So good. And there was actually a challenge where there hasn't been in Kirby for a really long time, if not, if ever, maybe. But there was some good challenge compared to the easier Kirby games of the past. And I just remember having it's been a while since I played it, but I remember having a fantastic time with it and it leaving a pretty big impact on me being a Kirby fan and just, again, being excited for what the future has in store for that franchise. And I think there's a theme here as I'm looking at my list here with games, franchises that I love taking a much needed step forward as I'm looking at my list here. But yeah, Kirby is my number 4.
Spoilers for Kirby, because I don't think Gage or Dan will ever play this. So if you're listening and you have not been
Spoil
Kirby
for me. Do not spoil Kirby for me.
you don't care.
I will play
Dude,
it. I care.
That final boss fight, like for those unfamiliar, you're like, again, spoilers, warning. You're basically killing God. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It is so anime, and I loved it for that. It was fantastic.
It's fucking metal.
It's awesome. I mean,
it's great.
And again, with the steps forward thing, like fighting God is a very Kirby thing, but how they did it in here is like it's just next level.
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
Kirby games, man.
Games.
You know, even though I disagree with you, Ro, on overall on Kirby, I respect the choice. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Absolutely. My number 4 pick, a game I think I would love a bit more, and I'm a little bit disappointed by. I have criticisms about this game, but that's not what I'm going to highlight today. Instead, I'm going to give the praise to God of War Ragnarok for being narratively, I think, as enriching as what I got out of 2018, if not more so. The number one thing I want to bring up with God of War Ragnarok, despite all the things that I kind of have issues with, is that I think the way it treats its characters, both main and supporting, is a cut above the rest for a lot of narrative storytelling games. It's one of the things, narrative games, Sony's bread and butter. Santa Monica Studio understands character depth so well, and some of these side quests are as good, if not better, as the main quest of this game. It is very satisfying to see these narrative arcs from start to finish in Ragnarok, and it does feel like closure in a lot of ways. So I think Sony Santa Monica should be proud for the game that they put out, because it's for sure one of the best of the years, and it's gonna be a lot of people's favorite ever. Won't be mine, but I'll understand why it's theirs. So God of War Ragnarok, my number 4 pick. Back to Gage.
Pick is going to be Need for Speed Unbound.
Whoa.
Just came out.
I like it.
I'm having a lot of fun with this game. It feels like a return to form for just that super arcadey feel that Need for Speed is known for. I'm having a lot of fun with it. There are some issues with it, but by the time at the end of its life cycle, Need for Speed Heat was a really, really great game, especially from the state that it launched. So I'm kind of putting this here with the hopes of that it kind of will improve, but even the foundation here is extremely solid. I'm having a lot of fun with it. Again, in terms of AAA racing, customization is unrivaled. It's way more intuitive and way more expansive than Forza Horizon. So if you are somebody who loves that niche of just being able to customize the shit out of your vehicles like I am, then I highly recommend checking this one out because it feels really good to play. And I actually was going into this not really digging the whole anime stuff and I hope I can turn it off. But it actually adds so much to the game that I fell in love with it, and using that as an extra sort of tool to customize yourself and add just that final color combination to your car. It's really cool when you boost off of a ramp and you're flying through the air and these giant anime wings come out and they're whatever color you chose that kind of matches the car. It has its own look and feel, and I totally dig it. I didn't think I would, but I'm having a good time with it. Need for Speed Unbound is my number 4 pick.
Can't wait.
Well, don't like any of that.
Did I mention I'm going to Japan next year? Can't wait. Daniel, we're back to you for our third picks here. Game of the Year 2022.
Man, I'm looking at my top 3 here, and 2 of them might be controversial for people, but here we go.
Oh.
My number 3 pick is Modern Warfare 2, which we just talked about having a much lower or open critic than what we were thinking. But I very much enjoyed this campaign. I know you guys had different thoughts about the campaign, but I very much enjoyed it and thought that it was solid. And playing the multiplayer, I was like, man, this is why I stopped playing Call of Duty. I don't like this multiplayer. But then going into Warzone, I played a couple of matches of Warzone, and I was like, this is great. I really enjoyed this. And then playing DMZ and very much even more enjoying it. Like, I really like that experience of dropping in and extracting. And like, when I first dropped in, I was very pessimistic about it. I think I played with Gage maybe for the first time, and I was like, man, I don't know, we're not seeing like a lot of players or anything. But as time went on, like, you definitely see more players, and it gets a lot more intense because you're like, man, is that guy a player, or is that an AI? Like, yeah. And so DMZ is really cool, and the raid that just came out is awesome. So yeah, I very much am still enjoying this game. So yeah, that's my number 3.
I remember seeing videos of DMZ and being like, I don't think this is gonna hit. And I remember being like kind of disappointed. It's obviously not as in-depth as Tarkov, but it's very arcade, which I think Call of Duty has always been, despite how realistic they try to be, it's still an arcade shooter.
Yeah.
And for DMZ to be an arcade kind of Tarkov, I think is the sweet spot for like introducing something new and refreshing into the Call of Duty franchise. And yeah, I'm with you. Where DMZ has been like the surprise for me. Like, I am enjoying this more than Warzone and maybe more than multiplayer. It's been fun. And with proximity chat too, get out of here. It's so fun. Ro, back to you for your 3rd pick.
Heck yeah. I also wanted to preface my top 3 with, well, not preface it, but say kind of in similar to what Gage was saying with this year being kind of slow for him for games. I don't think my top 3 would change regardless, but I do want to say that I did not play a lot of the heavy hitters this year, like God of War Ragnarok and like Sifu and Elden Ring and stuff like that. I still need to get around to those games. My 4 and 5 may have changed if I had played those games. My top 3, I don't think any of those games would have been able to.
Sonic Frontiers incoming. Sonic Frontiers incoming.
Absolutely. You're absolutely correct. Sonic Frontiers is my number 3 pick. You know, play God of War Ragnarok? God of War Ragnarok may have been 4, may have been 5. But the next 3 games are no way they could have been toppled this year, I don't think. But Sonic Frontiers, again, keeping with this trend of games that I love for like my entire life, finally taking steps that they should have taken years ago, is happening. Again, Sonic is probably, out of the ranking here, Pokemon Arceus and Pokemon Violet is number 5 for sure in taking steps. I think Sonic Frontiers would be right behind that, and then Kirby. Because they did some really cool stuff, but there was definitely some things that are very questionable. But as a Sonic fan, I love the gameplay and like the cyberspace levels. They were lots of fun. I had a blast, and the story of Sonic Frontiers was, I think, the best in the franchise so far, and that's thanks probably to Ian Flynn, who writes the comics that are really well regarded for their story as well. But yeah, I had a fantastic time. I was expecting to like it, but I was honestly blown away by the soundtrack and just how much fun the open zone gameplay of that was, and the little challenges that were thrown towards a player and stuff. So I had a blast with Sonic Frontiers, and I'm so excited again for the future of Sonic because of this.
I think if it weren't open world, I would have gotten my hands on this, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think you would like the cyberspace levels for sure. It's definitely there's some really good ones in there, but unfortunately to get to those you have to play the open zone parts.
Yeah, that's
but
okay.
once you beat the game, they're all right there for you. You can play them anytime you want.
That's true.
Yeah.
As long as the game feels good, I think what you said, it mostly feels pretty good to be Sonic again.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And there's DLC coming for you.
Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Living my best life right now.
Absolutely. My 3rd pick, my 3 through 1 are all really close. Like, it is scary how close. Like, any year, like anytime you would ask me, what is your game of the year? I could make an argument for all three of these. Just throwing that out there. But my number 3 pick is Signalis, by Rose Engine. A game that I'll be thinking about for the next year probably. Especially because I'm working with it in some capacity. But the thing about this game is that it's so surprising and so deeper than I could have imagined. I've mentioned this on the Penultimate Conquest podcast. Like, it pulls you in with the allure of being like, hey, this is a sci-fi horror game that is paying homage to your classic PS1 horror games, your survival horror games, like your Resident Evils, your Silent Hills. And it pulls you in with that. And it still is that. And then you realize, like, it is way deeper and it needs serious untangling. And if you want to find any notion of answers, you're going to have to go back and really think critically about the things that it's taking inspiration from and how that affects our reading of, this character or this moment of the game. And it's something that, like, is what I really crave for in games, ones that end up being like my favorites of all time, my masterpieces. And Signalis is no different. It's one that I'm oh hell yeah, look at that cat. Sorry, I got distracted. I think if you're looking for a game that is textually rich in things like of horror, of insanity, of the mind, of capitalism, of politics, of surveillance, of colonialism, of existentialism, of drama, of grief, of all these things, Signalis is one that you definitely have to check out. Okay.
Yes.
Gage.
Hell yeah. Okay, so Dan, you thought yours was controversial, right? My number 3 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Wow, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely where the lack of playing games is coming into effect, because I feel like I'm going to get around to it eventually. I feel like if I had played Horizon Forbidden West, maybe it would have taken this place, but I don't know. We're going to go with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 because at the end of the day, there are certain things that I have to begrudgingly give Call of Duty kudos for. I don't think there's any other studio right now that does better first person character view animations. So, like, when you are reloading your weapons, when you are switching weapons, and they've got the new pistol fast draw attachment, which is super cool, where your guy kind of like just holds his rifle down to the side and pulls out his gun with his one hand. Very, very cool stuff, and they are second to none. Like, there are certain things you have to give Call of Duty the crown for, and it's like no game
Sound
comes
design.
close. Like, I could say to you that if I could only pick one franchise, I'd pick Battlefield over Call of Duty in a heartbeat, no problem. But like, they're night and day when it comes to some of the animations and stuff like that. So there are certain things like that are fantastic. I really enjoyed the second half of the campaign quite a bit. Like, there are certain things that really hit. And DMZ mode, while it's nothing like Tarkov, and I didn't really expect it to be, it is the same genre. It is an extraction shooter. I think that it's earned that title. I think that it is a fun spin on that sort of style of gameplay. It's very low risk, but still has some risk, so you can kind of get into that mentality of do I bring this key in? Do I not? That kind of thing. And it could totally be coincidence, but every time Dan and I squad up to play this game, we have these bombastic runs where it ends with Dan driving the car and I'm in the back gunning down a helicopter full of players that are chasing us. Like, it just feels like every raid, and obviously it's not every raid, but it feels like that. Like, it really feels that, like, every session you and I sit down, something crazy and fun happens. And DMZ is so much of the waiting factor for putting this on the list, because I'm enjoying it way more than I thought I would enjoy it. Definitely no Tarkov replacement, but man, is it fun.
I love how you can tell how much Tarkov you're playing, or you're coming from Tarkov, that you call entering a game of DMZ a raid. Like, right? I know what that I know what that means.
Oh, I didn't even realize. Yeah. No, I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
A match, I should say. Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. Because raids is a different thing in Modern Warfare.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't think DMZ is a persistent world, eh? I think it's like very much same time. It's a match.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It's definitely It's very much like, again, I think it is fair to call it an extraction game mode, but it is very much a modified Warzone sort of template. They took the Warzone template and just kind of modified it. But yeah, if they do some things, I think that DMZ could really take off. Like, I think they need that persistent inventory of most items. Like, I think you need to be able to have to go into a raid and extract with 3 high tier vests and keep them in your stash to save for a rainy day. It needs that sort of consistency and persistency, and maybe that comes with a huge rebalancing of how loot works, because like loot it's very generous in this game because it is so arcadey. But if they could just tweak that a little bit, keep the accessibility, but kind of add some more of that risk reward gameplay, I think they have something really special in their hands and something that could stay for the long haul in the extraction genre.
I agree. Dan, we're back to you for our number 2 picks.
Soap. Oh, sorry. Christ. All right, my number 2 is going to be another one this will be the last one, I swear, that's going to be maybe controversial. It may not be controversial, though.
Yes, it will.
It will be? Do you know what it is?
The Last of Us Part 1.
How did you know? You knew. The Last of Us Part 1 is my number 2 game. And the thing is, I think I told you guys this as I was playing it, and it's not because this remake is like one of the best remakes of all time or anything like that, but like this is one of my favorite games of all time remade, and it's done so 9 years after I played the original one, and I didn't play literally any other playthroughs. So it's literally like I was playing the game fresh, because I told you guys, like, as I was playing, I didn't remember most of the things that happened because my memory is terrible as it is. But like many of like the individual moments, obviously I knew the greater scale of the story, but like individual pieces that happened within the game I had completely forgotten. So I really loved just going back and like experiencing all those things again, including like Billstown. Like you guys always kept talking about Billstown, and I'm like, shit, I don't remember that like at all. But yeah, like just stuff like that. I really enjoyed playing through it again, and it was like a brand new experience for me. But I couldn't put it at number 1 because I'm like, this is not a new game. This is just a remake, so I can't do that. But yeah. There it is.
Will we allow it? Kidding, of course we will. There we have it. Last is Part 1. Daniel's number 2 pick.
You called it.
Ro, what is yours?
My number 2 pick is Citizen Sleeper.
Oh!
Yes. It's
I'm
so
fixing
good.
to bust.
Citizen Sleeper is what would I call it, Christian? I guess a visual novel tabletop a time management simulator. I don't even know. It is a combination of so many things that I like visual novels, but everything else
It's a way of life, man.
I would hate this game usually, but I think I picked it up on Christian's recommendation after he played it, and I was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot. And I tried it on Game Pass, and as usual, Christian was right. It was a fantastic game. The story is incredible, and the story has to be incredible because all you're doing is reading, and I don't like doing that most of the time, but I was enthralled with these characters and this world and learning about all the ship's inhabitants. I don't remember the name of the ship. It's been a minute, but there were 2 characters named Lem and Nina.
Eye?
Yes, the Eye. That's correct. Yeah, there's so many characters that I fell in love with over the course of me being on the Eye. And but Lem and Mina were, I think, my favorites. This daughter, a father and their daughter trying to get off the Eye in hopes of a better life for their family. And yeah, it was a great journey to go on with them. And I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't played it, because I do think everybody on here should play it. But I do understand like the barrier. It's not a high barrier. It's just what you want to do with your time, and I understand that. But I had a great time, like managing the days with the dice. I don't explain the whole gameplay thing here, but I think it's a really fun gameplay loop, and it had me making fun decisions on where I should go and who I should talk to. And yeah, it's the story that's why it's so high on this list, and the writing. And Christian, I'm sure, I don't know if it's on your list, but if it is, I'm sure you can go into a little bit more detail than I am. But I had a great time with this game.
Well, let's talk about it because Citizen Sleeper is also my number 2 pick. Gage, you have a question?
I do. So it can fall on you or Ro. Is it a long game or is it?
Ooh. I guess
Ro,
if somebody's playing this just for the story, because like you said, barrier to entry, it's a visual novel, totally not normally my type of game. But
long.
What's up?
What do you consider long? Long is relative, and like
so when
to what you're doing though. Like
and if I'm stepping out of my comfort zone into a genre that I don't normally play, obviously long is gonna feel shorter.
It will feel long to because the bulk of the game is reading, and if that isn't what you want out of gaming sessions, it'll feel long. But you can break it apart, and the thing about this is like the writing and the music is so good that it doesn't really feel like you're reading at all. To be honest, you're kind of just lost in it.
That's why I'm interested in it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can talk a little bit about the gameplay too. The gameplay is super unique. It's cool because it's simple, but it's also a little complicated. So you play as a sleeper, which means like you are a human being whose consciousness was put into the body of a robot. But sleepers only have so long to live. Without certain things, their body starts to decay. And so you're playing this game in cycles. So every cycle is a day, and every day you have these dice rolls that are RNG, and you use these dice rolls to do tasks. You can choose to either go do enhance your relationship with someone by doing a task for them. You can choose to work to make money to then buy medicine. You can go buy food. All these things, cost money, and your dice rolls. And the thing is, like each cycle, you are slowly dying, and you are working to stay alive and working to escape the eye in various ways, and they're in a multitude of ways because this game has like multiple endings that you can encounter. But the thing is about this game is that it's so well written. The relationships are so good that it is better than any RPG I've played in this game. And like there is very much one relationship that is so special. I think it's the same one Ro and I probably did our endings with. That like by the time I got to that ending, like I don't normally cry in a lot of games, but this game made me cry. It's almost the same that I did when I finished Before Your Eyes, and like that game was really special. Citizen Sleeper is also a game that's like a dark horse for best OST this year. Like that music fucks hard. It is so cool, and it's one of the reasons why I don't mind reading so long because like I am vibing when I'm playing this. Like I am up and I'm in it. So I think it's very much a game. It's still I think on Game Pass. You'll know within the first hour if it's for you or not. And if it's not for you, that's totally okay. At least you gave it a shot. That's why I think Game Pass works so much of the time. And if it is for you, then that's fantastic because you're in for one of like what I would consider a real treat for 2022.
I think I'm gonna download it. That was my next question. Is it on Game Pass? Because I feel like I've seen it on there. And I think it is still floating around on there. Now here's the question: the relationship in that game that's so special, is it more special than our relationship?
No, nothing can be.
Okay, that's what I want to hear. Okay.
Yeah. Gage, your number 2 pick.
Okay. Daniel, get out of my head.
No
The
way.
Last of Us Part 1 is my number 2 pick. And it always was.
I hate us.
Is our list the same? I feel like
our list is exactly the same.
Almost.
I know it's the same.
Except for one.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I know what your next, our next ones I think are the same.
Yeah.
So you can just tally up the points now, I guess. The Last of Us Part 1. I mean, yes, it's obviously an incredible story. We all know that, and it has affected all 4 of us deeply, which is something that I think is kind of cool. That like of all of our different tastes and whatnot, this one game has affected us all like so intensely, and it does so as well when it's ray traced in 4K. In case you were wondering, so that is this. It didn't offer as much as I was hoping for in terms of how much of a remake it is. I think that actually there's still a decent conversation to be had there because it's towing the line. It's a razor's edge, and this game is dancing on it between remake and remaster. But whatever it is, it's fucking beautiful. The lighting specifically in this game is incredible. I think maybe the best lighting I've seen in a video game ever. I think. and the particle effects, like literally particle effects when you're standing in these abandoned buildings, and especially in some of the missions that take place at like dusk or dawn, which is like a really big theme in this game. The autumn levels, all of it, it's incredible. The audio is fantastic, and just
The
replaying
eyeballs.
this game is absolutely. This game is incredibly atmospheric, and replaying it at this fidelity is just incredible. It was an experience, and that's why this is on the list. Is not maybe it has nothing to do with the game. Maybe the fact that it's just like getting this experience in this year in this way. This is a new experience. You can make an argument for remakes, whether they're a new game or whatnot, but this is a new experience for sure. And it hit me to my core, and it's fantastic. I can talk about this game all day long. Great.
Isn't it neat how heartbreaking games like this can still be kind of comforting to play through?
Yes. It's a weird sort of like emotional chokehold you put yourself in where you feel safe and warm, but like you're also strangling yourself and you're crying.
Let's recap here. I won't give point values away, but we'll recap to see what our current standings are, and then we'll go into some honorable mentions, and then we'll give our number 1 picks. Right now, tied for first are Citizen Sleeper and The Last of Us Part 1. Insane. First and second, we'll call it. Third place, Modern Warfare 2. Fourth place, my number 1 pick, which I won't mention yet, but I'm sure you can guess what it is. And then in 5th place is Signalis. Love to see it.
Okay.
Ro, I know you had some honorable mentions you're really giddy about sharing. You want to give yours first?
Sure, yeah. River City Girls, I talked about in What You Got From Me, so that has made it on there. I won't say too much about it either. Or here, I mean. Roller Drome, I had a great time with. I thought the gameplay in that was just fantastic. I had such a great time with that shooting mechanic and just like trying to learn the controls, and I wouldn't say I mastered it, but becoming good enough to beat the game. And I had a great time with that, and the art style is awesome. Pokemon Arceus, I will not say anything more than just the name of the game, but it's on my honorable mentions. And and the Night Witch, which is a new Metroidvania that came out in November, and I'm still chipping away at it, but it is easily, I mean, I haven't played a lot of Metroidvanias, but it's one of my favorites for sure after playing it, and a beautiful art style as well with that one.
I've seen some of your videos on it. That game looks awesome, and if I wasn't trying to be financially responsible, I would be buying so many games right now.
It's really good.
It's going to get pricey in 2023, I tell you what.
Yep.
Dan, Gage, do you have any honorable mentions?
I do.
Dan, I'll let you go first.
Okay, I'm sure they'll be the exact same. No.
Yeah, well, yeah.
High on life.
Yeah, no.
Wait.
Well, to be fair, I didn't include High on Life in this at all because I only played 2 to 3 hours of it, so I don't feel like I have a good enough, feel on that to put it in.
That would also be insane, I think.
Yeah, it probably would be. But honorable.
It's fun, but that would be insane. Let's be real.
Yes. Honorable mention number 1, Horizon Forbidden West. I think it didn't make it in there because the gameplay is fun. I really like the gameplay of Horizon Forbidden West. The thing that holds me back is the onslaught, I guess, of dialogue in that game. It just has held me back for this long to even finish that game because it's just a lot. It's really, it weighs heavily on me every time I try to play that game, and I'm just like, I just want to play through it. That's all I want to do.
These are honorable mentions, Dan. What are we doing?
I'm sorry. Dying Light 2, fun game.
Yeah, fuck this game.
Fun.
Fuck this game.
No. I know. No. That's my only complaint about it. Let me be fair. That's what's holding it out of my top 5. So
Gotcha, I understand.
But Dying Light 2 had a lot of fun with that. Great co-op. Haven't finished it because of someone, Sheldon. But no, it's a great
Call him out, man.
Great time co-op wise. Destiny 2 Witch Queen, which I feel like Bungie doesn't get much acclaim for their expansions, even though they're kind of pretty much full games essentially. Had a lot of fun playing the campaign with Ro, and yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, and that's it.
Okay,
Yes.
then I know where your number one is. Yeah, I know what your number one game is. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
Destiny 2, the Witch Queen, more like Destiny 2, the Bitch Queen.
Whoa.
Hey.
Oh,
She has feelings.
Little baby
Yeah.
back, little. Okay, so here's we're gonna do something fun for my honorable mentions. You ready? My honorable mentions, all of them are gonna consist of games that I haven't played. Right? Okay, so I'm gonna give a
Nice.
shout out to Evil Dead the game because I heard it was actually a pretty fun asymmetrical shooter that got entirely overlooked. I don't know if that's
Oh.
true or not. It's on my wish list though. I'll buy it eventually when the servers are dead, and then that'll be fun.
Nice.
Yeah. So I want to give a shout out there. I'm gonna give a shout out to Tunic, which I played like 45 minutes of, and I was like, this seems really fun, and never got back to. So shout out to Tunic. Shout out to Stray, waiting for you to go on sale at a reasonable price. But cats are adorable, right? This looks like a vibe. This will be fun.
Do you
Vibe.
have
Um,
PlayStation Essential? Because you can get it, or is it extra?
Whatever the
what is
middle
it?
tier is, I don't know. Yeah.
That's extra. Never mind.
Is that actually what it's called? It's called PlayStation Plus Extra.
Yeah.
Who knows what they're called? They really
That's
fumbled the bag on that one.
insane. That's insane.
It's so dumb.
So Stray looks fun, and shout out to Sifu, which I still haven't played. Christian, don't yell at me.
I won't. That's fine. It's coming to PC soon. You can pick it up then when it's on sale. That'd be perfect.
Is it not already? I thought I saw mods for this. Is it
Actually,
not
you're
already?
right. It is already on PC. That's right. Yeah. There was a Batman mod I saw. It was pretty cool.
There's also Daredevil mod hallway thing. It looks really
That's
cool.
even cooler. That's even
Yes.
cooler.
Yeah.
Dude, Sifu's fun.
It looks fun. It looks really fun.
Yeah,
Those are my
yeah.
honorable mentions.
Very cool. I like it. My honorable mentions: Vampire Survivors, still as addicting as ever.
Oh fuck, that's a good one. That's add that to my genuine list. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, swag. Neon White. Halfway through playing that game, I ignored the story because it's after a while it's like I don't need this. It's not giving me anything. But boy, is the gameplay not swaggy as all hell. It's so good. It's so fun. Another game that's like get in for a few levels. You want to speed run a few, improve your time, beat one of your friends on the leaderboard, and then move on to the rest of your day. It's great fun. My last honorable mention is a game that I wish was in my top 5, but I already have 5 games, so it didn't make it, but it was close. This is Faith, the Unholy Trinity by Ardorf Games and New Blood Interactive. This is the scariest game I've probably ever played. It's at least in that conversation for at least top 5 scariest games I ever played. It is what they do with sound and art style is so unique. It's like 8-bit chiptune, but it's fucking cranked to the 666 number. I do want to mention real quick that like the premise of this game is like a priest who's haunted by the failed exorcism of a girl, and a year later he's like having to do like some stuff relating to it. It rocks. There's one level where the mechanic revolves around clicking a camera to use as a light source in like this huge like apartment building, and it's fucking terrifying. It's so good. Faith. All right. Cool. We're back to our number ones. Daniel, you're starting us off. Go ahead and tell us what it is. I think we know.
Number 1. No. Yeah, God of War Ragnarok is my number 1. Despite only being 10 hours into the game, I still have a long way to go. But just from what I've played already, I already feel like this is going to be my favorite game of the year. There's a lot of things that I like where they're changing things that, you sort of expect, but you didn't expect in terms of playing with how you're playing the game. Yeah. Just trying to be vague for people. But I really like a lot of that stuff where they're switching it up more than the original game. I think that's really cool. And in my criticisms of Horizon Forbidden West having dialogue that's just like it just goes on and on and on, God of War, in contrast, I feel like has dialogue that is very concise and it's very meaningful. And I really like the dialogue that's happening thus far in the game, and feel like it's not dragging on too long. It just continues pushing you forward, down the main path. I really like that. I love Atreus, and I love Christopher Judge as Kratos again. Fantastic performances. And yeah, the gameplay I think is maybe one thing that's holding it back a tiny bit for me, because it feels a little bit repetitive, more so than the original game. But I after talking to you guys, it seems like that's maybe just because I haven't unlocked more of the things as you go along. So I'm expecting that to expand a lot more as I continue on the game. But
Yeah, yes, but also I understand that criticism, and I honestly almost kind of agree with you. But it's something that would require more in-depth conversation at a later point once you're later in the game, I think. But
gotcha.
I think it's coming from a place that I think Gage and I would probably agree with.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and the world building, fantastic. All of the environments look absolutely amazing in this game. So obviously, Sony Santa Monica knows how to crank out beautiful stuff with their engine. So very good stuff around there. So yeah, that's my game of the year, even though I haven't finished it.
I love your asterisk.
Yeah.
Roshan, your
Yes.
number one pick.
My number one pick is Signalis by Rose Engine.
Holy shit, for
Yeah.
real?
For real.
Wow.
Christian talked about it as his number 3, I believe.
Yeah.
He talked about it way better than I could, but I'm gonna try. But yeah, Signalis is obviously a horror game, and I think the fact that I enjoyed it so much, being someone who doesn't like horror games, I think deserves like extra points in it by itself. That I got so much out of it, and we talked about this a little bit. I don't think I shared my thoughts so much, but in the chat like a couple weeks ago, Dan was talking about how frustrated he was about like some puzzles in God of War, and I also hate puzzles, especially in third-person action adventure games, where it just distracts you from getting to the next thing and padding out. It's just padding out your runtime. I think it's annoying, and we should just be playing the fun parts in those games. If the game has to be shorter, that's okay. The puzzles are stupid and annoying. They're skippable for a reason because they're stupid and annoying. Anyways,
Wow.
in this
Yeah,
game,
What is
in
this?
in this game, the puzzles are so awesome. I had such a good time like figuring them out, and I think it's because it's a horror game. It's part of the DNA of those kind of tense situations, trying to figure out something while somebody's chasing you. But I think Christian did something similar. But I have like 2 pages of notes
Oh yeah.
of just like random stuff. I drew the main character as well.
Oh,
She's so
wow.
cute. But yeah, I don't do this for video games ever, unless it's like story stuff. I don't make notes, and I just had such a great time writing down codes and figuring stuff out. And there's obviously the other side of things with the story. There's Christian's notes there. Oh my god, beautiful. And I think I have that page here with those the blocks.
Oh, I know that one. Yeah. Yours is a lot nicer though.
I just drew the symbols there, but yeah, the story is really cool. I think I need to go back or watch a video essay on it to really understand it. But there's a lot to dive into with the story there, and it's depressing. There's 3 endings, I think, and I think me and Christian got the same one, the memory ending. And
Yes.
yeah, that one was sad. But apparently there's ones that are sadder. So I was happy with what I got. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Rose Engine does next, because I think they have a pretty good start with Signalis for sure. So I'm excited to see what they can improve upon. But I think Signalis is a fantastic horror game, a fantastic game, and it's my number 1.
Hell yeah. I love that game, dude. Before we get to Gage, I like any game that's making me crack open my textbooks from grad school. It's like, yep, this is a game for life for me. Gage, your final pick.
Final pick.
Number 1. Take it to the bank. Take us home.
God of War Ragnarok. It's God of War. It's God of War Ragnarok because it has to be. I'm gonna put a big preference on there because I have so many problems with this game, and I want to discuss it so bad. But it is an incredible game. It does have incredible performances. What are you losing your mind at?
I just realized I forgot to give my number 1 as well.
That's what I was wondering. I was wondering. I was like,
yeah.
okay.
I forgot.
Do you want to go? Because I
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's the gameplay is fantastic. Hacking and slashing as Kratos is amazing. The story highs I think are peak higher than the first one for me. There's certain moments, certain cutscenes that are incredible. I have not beat the game yet. I am like 30 hours in. I think I'm pretty much at the end. And there's a scene that happened recently that was like no spoilers or anything like that, but there's quite like a huge incident that happens towards the end of the game, and it's just like it's incredible. The performances in this game are really great. I have a lot of issues with it. I don't know how the map system passed, how the UI passed. Like there are things where it's like I'm not trying to be harsh or mean, but like there are certain things in this game that are bad. Like not just like, oh, this could be better. Like the menu system in this game is awful, but
Yes.
like it is still the best game of the year. Like it's still an incredible experience, even with all of its flaws. Like some of these high octane moments where you have these crazy boss fights that are so like just perfectly animated, and like it's just awesome. It's God of War. It feels epic. I don't think I'd ever guessed we'd get a game that feels this over the top and grounded at the same time. You know what I mean? Like this kind of feels like a win-win for me, where I like my grounded characters, my immersive stories, but like also getting to see like, say, this is from the 2018, but like when he's taking a dragon by like fucking grabbing his teeth and pulling his wisdom teeth out and then smashing his face into the side of a mountain. Like what? I can get both of those things in one game? That's fantastic.
There we have it. I forgot to give my number one pick, so I'll mention that briefly. Yeah, it's Elden Ring. It's not winning any. I don't think it's going to win any talents in our poll, but it's at least I want to mention that From Software is legit one of the most influential and powerhouse developers right now. Like legit, you're going to see a lot of changes coming to open world games and kind of not just the combat, but like their design, like thesis. I think you'll start to see that influence come out in the next few years. Like what they did with their first open world game is again a cut far above so many open world games that are coming out right now. It is insane how my curiosity in video games was like reawoken. I have not felt curious about playing a game in so long, and this is one where I felt like I got lost in. I haven't felt that way since Breath of the Wild, another game changer, literally. So, I could say a lot about Elden Ring, but I won't. It's a flawed game for sure, but I think for me it's a flawed masterpiece, and it's my favorite game of the year. Even if it is, even if it's not for everyone, I think it was for me, and I deserved it. Okay, fuck you all.
You did deserve it. And let me just
for me.
say, I am excited for the change that this game is going to bring about, because if it wasn't for the Souls like difficulty, everything that I've heard about this game in the buzz and in the zeitgeist of the moment sounded like sign me the fuck up. I love this hands-off experience. I love the sort of like learning lore from the environment and from exploration
Oh
and
my god.
all that's like no quest markers. Like all that stuff sounds great. I can't wait. I can't wait for that.
I'll say one thing about Elden Ring. One more thing than one in the show. We'll give the PXN top 5 and then we'll end the show. I remember in Elden Ring really early on, going through a forest. You got like the quiet like music seeping through. You got like the fog and the mildew from the trees. There's a giant bear at the edge of the forest. I can see that. I'm kind of like trying not to awake because I don't want to fight it. And I see hidden behind like this like kind of like these two little like hills of rocks. There's like this building, and it's like what I think it looks like a well. And I step on the platform, and it's an elevator, a floating elevator, like all From Softwares are. And in this elevator, I'm like going down, and then it gets really fast, and then it's like 30 seconds have gone by, and I'm still in this elevator. 45 seconds to a minute, and I'm like still in this elevator. And I'm like, where am I? Where is this going? What is going on? And then you get out of there, and like the text pops up. It's like boom. And it's like Shifro River Well. And you look up, and you see a ceiling of stars, and you realize it's actually just minerals, but it looks like the cosmos, like purple, blue, and blacks, just It's like, wow, this was the best moment in gaming this year, and it was a 1 minute long elevator ride to a cave, and nothing in this year came close to that feeling of wonder. Insane. And this game is filled with hundreds of those moments. Crazy.
I thought when you said the title of the location, I thought that was going to be the name of the boss or something, like you stumbled onto a
No.
boss by mistake. But that's even better.
It's just an area, and guess what? It's all side content you didn't have to do at all.
Beautiful.
That's
That
pretty
shit
cool.
rocks. Yeah.
I like that.
I think also to be fair, if I wish I loved this type of game, because I think that Elden Ring is absolutely incredible, like what they were able to do with that game. Absolutely. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Cool shit. Which brings us to our official PXN top games of 2022. Are you guys ready?
I'm so excited.
I've tallied them all. I've sorted them. 3 games are tied with the same amount of points. And what I did was I actually let Google sort it through its data. So whatever order it's in right now is the order I think for our top 5. And I'm just going to leave it at that, okay?
Okay.
In 5th place, our 5th best game of the year, Modern Warfare 2. Congratulations, Infinity Ward.
Very good.
Cheerio.
By the way, this is a pretty cool representative list of all the games we're all 4 of us are into, so that's nice. 4th place, The Last of Us Part 1.
Oh.
Wow.
Naughty Dog did it again. You did it in 2013. It's the same thing you did. And I'm just kidding. In 3rd place, Citizen Sleeper. Row, we showed up.
Yes. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
In 2nd place, Row, we showed up. Signals.
Yes. Let's go.
In 1st place, of
TMNT?
course it had to be
Is it?
TMNT.
No
Should've been original.
way.
God of War Ragnarok.
Oh.
Congratulations, God of War. You are PXN's Game of the Year.
This is a good
2022.
list. I like this list.
It's a very good
Me
list.
too.
You did it. You did it.
That is a PXN list if I've ever heard one.
Yes.
Yes.
Isn't that nice?
That's nice.
Beautiful.
That's nice.
Wait,
Games are
you,
nice.
you gotta say it this way, Christian. Isn't it nice?
Hey.
In it.
I'm just not even going to end the show. I'm going to refuse to do it.
We're gonna sit here and think about what you just did.
It's British,
my
right?
God.
Or, I don't know.
Oh my.
So,
Folks, Kirik, Glenn, you listener. Thank you again to everyone joining us live on YouTube and Twitch, as well as podcast services everywhere, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and everywhere else you get your podcasts. Thank you, Roshan. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Gage. Thank you, Daniel. This has been Podcast PXN, and we are out of here.
much love and keep on.
Keep on fucking.
Swag.
420.
Hey, yeah. Hey, if you're sick and you're gonna go see Avatar, don't. Just stay home. Don't get anyone else sick.